Hey guys, what's up? It's Eric with Advanced Level Automotive. Today I'm sitting in a 2012 Ford F-250, F-350, I'm sorry. And it's got the 6.2 liter V8. Customer complaint is that the fuel gauge does not work. It just says fuel empty. You see over here, there's the fuel gauge, and it's just empty. I go ahead and start the truck, and we can see. Alright, so the truck is on. If you look over here at the fuel gauge, you can see it just says empty, and then it's got this message, fuel level low. And the check engine light is on as well. I'm not sure if the check engine light is related to the fuel level sensor not registering, but we're gonna find out here. Hook it up. Alright, so I got the scan tool hooked up. We're gonna go to memory codes. Alright, so what we have, the first code we're showing the ambient temperature sensor, circuit high input. The second code, here we go, is the fuel level sensor, circuit A, high input. So I think this is the one we're going to be focusing on. But let's go ahead and pull up the wiring diagram and see what we got. Alright, so what I have printed out here is the wiring diagram. And if you look over here, you can see the fuel pump module. This part is the actual fuel pump motor. This part is the fuel tank level sensor. It's a variable resistor, and it looks like its connection goes straight to the instrument cluster. So there's a power going out here that goes through the resistor, and then a signal return back to the instrument cluster. So this is actually a pretty simple, straightforward circuit. I think the only thing that I would consider a possible places that we want to look, for trouble is in these connectors. So there's a C211 connector, a C1581, and then the connector here that connects to the pump. But I think if we concentrate like C211, if we look over here on this diagram, this is the dash, the instrument cluster area is over here. So the C211 connector is right up underneath where the steering wheel is at. And then the other one, which is C1581, that one's located on the frame. So if you look 1581 right here, there's a connector there. So those are possible places. I think I would just really want to go wherever is easiest access. So I'm either going to go to this connector, or I may just go straight to the instrument cluster and check to see if there's power coming out of here, and check to see if we got a signal return on this side. So let's go back to the vehicle. Alright, so I'm back inside the truck. I went ahead and pulled the instrument cluster out. It was really easy to get to, so I figured that would be the first place I would start. So right now I'm actually on this yellow and violet wire, which is the fuel sender 1, and this is a signal that I'm getting right now. So I'm on the wire right here. I'm back probed, and I have my lab scope hooked up, and I'm seeing something that I didn't really expect to see. It's not a steady voltage. It looks like it's maybe a pulse width modulated or duty cycle signal, which it's kind of throwing me off a little bit, but I want to see what's on the other wire. So the other wire is pin 25, green and blue wire, which actually just so happens to be right next to it. So we're gonna go ahead and back probe right next to it here. Alright, so I got it in there, and this is a signal that I'm getting on that green wire, green and blue wire, that shows up as a signal return. So it's a little interesting because I'm not really sure what's going on here. It's almost like it's sending a signal out and the signal's coming back in, but nothing's really happening with the gauge. If you look and see, the fuel level gauge is still not working. So I think I'm gonna go to all data and see if I can pull up a circuit description for this thing. Well, before I do that, I guess let me recap on my frustration here. Generally, on most fuel level sensor circuits, it's pretty straightforward. Whatever module, in this case the instrument cluster, that's sending power to the fuel level sensor, it's usually just a constant, like a 5-volt constant feed. and what it's looking for is a drop in the voltage across the resistor, which is the fuel level sensor that's in the tank. In this case, it looks like the instrument cluster is sending out a varying signal, some type of pulse width modulated signal. You don't typically see these on sensor signal circuits. Sorry, I had the key off, so it just shut off. But I'm a little curious as to why this circuit sends, or this instrument cluster sends, a varying signal to the fuel level sensor. So I guess with that in mind, let's go check all data and see if we can find any information on this. Alright, so I tried looking under description for the fuel gauge and the fuel level sender. It wasn't really giving me the information I was looking for, so I went to check out the code, the DTC information, and I really don't have a whole lot of help here either. It just tells me this DTC sets when the FLI signal is greater than the maximum allowable calibrated parameter for a specified fuel fill percentage in the tank. It tells me you could have the circuit open, circuit short to voltage, fuel pump module concern, incorrectly installed fuel gauge, overfilled tank, damaged instrument panel, and then damaged fuel gauge. But as far as any pinpoint testing here, it just kind of tells us to go here where we go to all others. Then maybe we can check the cutaway. This is on a flatbed, so. But anyways, it takes us here to this Evap system monitor. It gives you kind of a flow chart for the Evap system. I mean, I'm really concentrated more on the fuel level sensor, but I'm just not seeing the information that I'm looking for. All right, guys, so I know I'm skipping an entire part here, but I'm just gonna go ahead and show you. I went ahead and replaced the fuel level sensor. This is the old one. We already replaced it. This is the part number that's on the box. And I just went ahead and did that because, well, for one, this is a company vehicle, and it is a fleet vehicle, a delivery vehicle, so they need this truck back on the road. And I just didn't have time to try to find a good known pattern that or whatever that I should be seeing coming out of the instrument cluster. At that time, nothing made any sense because it just wasn't what I was expecting to see coming out of the instrument cluster. So it seemed easy enough to just drop this gas tank, because this is a flatbed, so it's actually really easy to drop this tank. It was only 4 bolts holding up the tank, and then there was 2 hoses. These 2 hoses right here, the filler neck hoses, that were really easy to get to. So like I said, we just went ahead and replaced the fuel level sensor. And let me show you, I still got to put the instrument cluster back together, but I'm going to go ahead and turn the key on. And if you look at the fuel gauge over there to the right, turn the key on, and it is now registering. So it works now. I guess I just really wanted to close this video with that, because I don't know, maybe this might help somebody who's running into the same problem and really doesn't know what the answer to. And again, I'm not really giving you any answers as far as the instrument cluster goes, but it turned out to be the fuel level sensor. And I hope this video helps somebody out. If you like the video, please like. If you enjoy the channel, please subscribe, and comment down below if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer any of them. And thanks for watching. See you later. All right, so I guess I'll throw this in here for a little bit of extra. Now that the instrument cluster is working, or excuse me, now that the fuel gauge is working, I'm on that green wire. We're on the signal return. As you can see, we still have that square wave, but now we're only seeing about 2 volts. This is at about a little over 1/4 of a tank. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the other wire, which is the yellow wire that was the output from the, yeah, it was the output from the instrument cluster. And we're actually seeing the same thing. So again, I really don't know how this thing works. Maybe if somebody in the comment section could you know, enlighten me on exactly how this instrument cluster is sending the signal to the fuel level sensor, and how it's determining what the fuel level is according to this reading. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.